The sky over Heartland was calm, to calm the kind that hides a storm no one sees coming. The horses were restless that morning, the air heavy with something unspoken. It was supposed to be just another quiet day at the ranch, filled with laughter, chores, and routine. But by the time the sun set behind the foothills, everything would change. Someone the Heartland family loved, someone we loved, would take their final breath, and nothing would ever be the same again. It all begins where episode 3 left off, with Amy trying to keep the ranch together after a series of small but growing challenges. The horses have been uneasy. Business has been slow, and the tension between family members feels heavier than ever. Jack, always the anchor of the family, has been quieter lately. There's a weariness in his eyes, the kind that comes from carrying too many memories and too much responsibility. Lou tries to keep the peace, balancing her work and family life, while Katie struggles with the changes happening around her. The ranch, which once felt like a place of endless life and second chances, now feels fragile, like something could break at any moment. There's a sense of unease in every conversation, a silence that lingers just a little too long. Even Amy's bond with the horses seems distant. She spends more time alone in the stables, brushing Spartan's mane and whispering to him as if he understands every word. And maybe he does, because animals at Heartland always seem to sense things before people do. Meanwhile, the family prepares for the upcoming charity event in Hudson, something that's supposed to bring them all together again. It's meant to be a lighthearted moment, laughter, community, and hope. But underneath that, something feels wrong. Jack's health has been slipping. He hides it well, smiling through the pain, pretending everything's fine. But those close to him can see the cracks forming. The audience, too, feels it. We can tell something is coming. The writers of Heartland have always had a way of blending everyday life with deep emotion, and this episode begins in the most ordinary way. Chores, breakfast. A family chat around the kitchen table, only for that ordinary day to become unforgettable. It's this quiet realism that makes what happens next so painful. Because in Heartland, tragedy never arrives with thunder or warning. It comes softly. Like the last breath of a fading sunset, the morning starts like any other. With the soft sound of hooves against the dirt and the smell of coffee filling the kitchen, the golden light of sunrise spills across the ranch, painting everything in warmth, but it feels almost too perfect, like the calm before something breaks. Jack steps outside with his usual steady stride, tipping his hat to Amy as she saddles up Spartan. "Beautiful morning," he says with a quiet smile, and she nods. Not realizing how much that moment will mean later, Amy has a strange feeling that day. She can't explain it, just an unease that won't leave her chest. Spartan is restless too, snorting and pawing the ground as if trying to warn her. But she brushes it off, blaming the wind, the weather, anything but her gut. She doesn't know that this is Heartland's way to hide heartbreak behind the beauty of ordinary days. At the barn, Lisa is preparing for the charity auction. She's focused, determined, but her mind drifts to Jack more than once. He's been stubborn lately, avoiding checkups, ignoring Lou's gentle reminders to rest. "You can't take care of everyone if you don't take care of yourself," she told him the night before. Jack had only chuckled, that familiar, comforting sound that made everyone believe he was indestructible. Around noon, Tim drops by unexpectedly. His energy fills the room like a storm, as always. But today there's an edge to him. He argues with Jack about a ranch deal, about money, about pride, the same old fight they've had for years. Amy steps in to calm them down, but the damage is already done. Jack storms out of the house, muttering under his breath, his face pale but determined. Lou watches him leave, her heart sinking. She knows her grandfather better than anyone. When he's angry, he hides his pain even deeper. The rest of the afternoon drifts by in slow motion. Amy rides out to the field to train Spartan, her mind heavy with worry. The sky begins to shift, clouds rolling in, the light dimming. The air feels thick, almost electric. There's a stillness in the animals, the kind that makes the hair on the back of your neck rise. Back at the house, Jack sits alone in the barn, running his hand over an old saddle that once belonged to Marion. His eyes soften as he remembers the laughter, the long rides, the years that went by too fast. He takes a deep breath, one that feels heavier than the rest. "You did good, old man," he whispers to himself, almost like a goodbye. And then, as the wind picks up and the first drops of rain hit the roof, everything goes quiet. The ranch, so full of life just moments ago, falls into a deep, uneasy silence, the kind that only comes before heartbreak. The storm moves in faster than anyone expects. The wind howls across the open fields, bending the tall grass, shaking the fences, sending the horses into a nervous dance. Amy feels it before she sees it, a weight pressing on her chest, the kind of pressure that warns you something bad is coming. She pulls Spartan back toward the barn, her eyes searching for Jack. He's nowhere in sight. Inside, Lou tries to call him. The phone rings and rings, echoing through the house like a clock counting down to something inevitable. Outside, the sky darkens. Rain begins to fall, soft at first, then heavy, washing over the land that's been their home for generations. Every drop seems to carry a story, a memory, a goodbye, then silence. The kind that makes your heart skip. Amy rides through the pasture, calling Jack's name. Her voice breaks against the wind. She spots something near the old corral, his hat lying face down in the mud. Time slows. Her hands tremble as she dismounts, her boots sinking into the soaked earth. The sound of the storm fades. All she hears is her heartbeat, thundering in her ears. She takes a few steps forward and sees him. Jack, lying near the fence, one hand still clutching the reins of a frightened horse. His eyes are closed, peaceful, almost as if he's fallen asleep right there. The world stops spinning. Amy drops to her knees, rain mixing with tears she doesn't even realize are falling. Her voice cracks as she whispers, "Grandpa." No answer. The camera lingers on the moment. No music, no dialogue. Just the sound of rain and the soft sobs of a granddaughter losing the man who taught her everything. Spartan stands close, lowering his head as if mourning too. It's raw. It's quiet. It's devastating. Back at the ranch, Lou and Lisa rush out when they see Amy returning in the distance, soaked and shaking. The look on her face tells them everything. No words needed. The storm hasn't just passed, it's taken something with it, in that single moment. Heartland changes forever. The rain finally stops, but the world doesn't feel clean. It feels emptied. The clouds hang low over Heartland, and everything seems to move in slow motion. The horses stand still in their paddocks, as if they, too, understand what's just happened. Inside the barn, the light flickers through the wooden cracks. Falling over Jack's old hat, still damp from the storm, it rests on a bale of hay, silent and heavy with memory. Amy sits at the kitchen table, wrapped in a blanket, her eyes lost somewhere far away. The words still haven't left her lips. Not because she can't say them, but because saying them would make them real. Lou stands by the window, staring at the horizon, whispering, "It can't be true." Lisa clutches Jack's old mug, the one he used every morning, as if holding it could somehow bring him back. Then, the sheriff's car pulls up outside. The sound of gravel crunching beneath the tires makes everyone freeze. No one wants to move. No one wants to hear what's about to be said. The door opens softly. The officer removes his hat, eyes low. His silence speaks louder than words. Lou's knees buckle. Amy covers her face, and Lisa turns away, breaking into quiet sobs. The truth finally lands. Jack Bartlett, the heart and soul of Heartland, is gone. The next few minutes are a blur of disbelief. Amy runs her hands through her hair, whispering, "He was fine this morning. He was fine." The house, once filled with laughter and warmth, now feels colder, emptier. Every photo on the wall becomes a wound, every memory a reminder. Tim shows up later, soaked and speechless. He stands in the doorway, his voice barely a whisper. "No, not Jack." For once, there's no anger, no argument, just grief. He walks into the living room, picks up Jack's hat, and holds it against his chest. His eyes are glassy, his jaw tight. This is the man he argued with, the man who kept him grounded, and now, He's gone. Outside, the wind brushes through the trees, carrying the echoes of Jack's voice that calm. A steady tone that always made everyone believe everything would be all right. But now, for the first time, it isn't. In this moment, the world of Heartland feels like it's holding its breath. Every corner of the ranch remembers him. The fence he built, the saddle he fixed, the laughter he left behind. Jack isn't just a character gone. He's a piece of Heartland itself. Morning comes, but it doesn't feel like a new day. The sun rises over the Heartland ranch, soft and golden, yet everything it touches feels hollow. The light spills through Jack's empty chair at the breakfast table, across his untouched coffee mug, and onto the family photos lining the wall. Photos that now feel like ghosts of a happier time. Amy sits in silence, her eyes red from a night without sleep. The smell of rain still lingers in the air, mixed with the faint scent of hay and heartbreak. She keeps expecting to hear Jack's voice, that warm, steady tone calling her kiddo. But all she hears is the creak of the old floorboards and the quiet hum of the refrigerator. Every sound reminds her of what's missing. Lou tries to stay strong, putting on her brave face for everyone else. She takes charge, making calls, arranging the service, comforting Katie. But when she's alone, her composure cracks. She stands at the window, staring out toward the barn, whispering, "Who's going to keep us together now?" Her tears fall silently, her reflection fading against the glass. Lisa moves through the house like a shadow. Every object holds a piece of Jack, the old hat rack by the door, the jacket still hanging there, the book he left open on the counter. She finds his watch on the nightstand, still ticking. She closes her hand around it, pressing it to her chest, as if holding time itself could stop it from moving forward without him. Tim, for once, is quiet. The man who always filled rooms with noise now can't find the words. He spends the day fixing the fence Jack was working on, hammering nails into the wood with trembling hands. Each strike is part anger, part sorrow. He doesn't say it out loud, but his eyes tell the story. Regret for every argument, every missed chance to say thank you, every stubborn moment he can't take back. Meanwhile, the horses seem to sense it too. Spartan refuses to eat that morning, pacing restlessly in his stall. Amy strokes his mane, whispering through tears, "He's gone, boy. He's really gone." The horse lowers his head, nudging her hand softly as if reminding her that she isn't alone. As night falls, the ranch glows under the pale light of the moon. The wind moves gently through the trees, carrying the faint echo of Jack's laughter, or maybe it's just memory playing tricks. Amy walks out to the porch, wraps herself in Jack's old coat, and looks up at the stars. The sky feels endless, yet painfully empty. She whispers, "You were right, Grandpa. Life does go on, but it'll never be the same." And with that, the episode lingers, not on the pain itself, but on the quiet resilience that Heartland has always been built upon. Because even in their deepest sorrow, the family knows Jack wouldn't want them to break. He'd want them to ride again, not to live. To love. Days pass, but time feels different at Heartland now. Slower, heavier. As if the world itself is learning how to live without Jack Bartlett. The ranch still runs, the sun still rises. But the laughter that once echoed across the fields has faded into whispers of memory. Every corner of Heartland feels like a reminder. The porch swing that creaks in the wind, the old hat hanging by the door, the rocking chair that sits empty beside the fireplace. Amy finds herself drawn to the barn more than ever. It's quiet there, peaceful, the kind of silence that doesn't ask questions. She brushes Spartan, the rhythm steady and slow, her thoughts drifting like the dust in the sunlight. She remembers Jack's words from long ago. "You can't control the storm, kiddo, but you can decide how you ride through it." Those words echo now, louder than ever. Lou spends her evenings looking through old photo albums. Each page turns like a chapter of their lives, moments frozen in time, smiles untouched by the weight of the world. She realizes something in that stillness. Grief doesn't mean forgetting. It means carrying love forward in a different way. She whispers softly to herself, "You didn't leave us, Grandpa. You just changed where you are." Lisa, standing by the paddock, watches the horses run free. She smiles through tears, remembering how Jack always said the ranch wasn't just land, it was a heartbeat. And even though his heart has stopped, the rhythm continues through everyone he loved. Through every repaired fence, every shared meal, every small act of kindness that keeps the family strong, even Tim changes. For once, he doesn't try to outrun his pain. He visits Jack's grave at sunrise, the sky burning gold above him. He kneels, his voice rough and low. "You were right about everything," he says. "I just wish I told you while I had the chance." He leaves his gloves on the headstone, a simple gesture, but one filled with meaning. It's not goodbye. It's thank you. That's what this episode captures so perfectly, that loss isn't an ending. It's a reflection of love so deep it refuses to fade. Heartland reminds us that even in our darkest nights, the people we've lost still live within the choices we make, the stories we tell, and the hearts we mend as the camera pans across the ranch. The sunset stretches across the horizon, warm, golden, endless. Amy stands alone by the fence, her hair catching the light Spartan beside her. She smiles softly, not because the pain is gone, but because she finally understands what Jack meant when he said, "Family isn't about staying together forever. It's about holding on, even when one of us has to let go." And for the first time since he left, Heartland feels alive again. The ranch is quiet now. The camera drifts slowly across the golden fields, the lights soft and fading, just like the memories that still cling to the air. Amy walks through the pasture with Spartan beside her, their silhouettes glowing against the setting sun. She stops for a moment, looking toward the old barn, Jack's barn, and smiles through her tears. It's the kind of smile that says, "I miss you, but I'm grateful I had you." A gentle voice breaks the silence. Some people leave this world, but never really go. They live in the places they loved, in the hearts they touched, and in the stories we keep telling. As the music swells, we see glimpses Jack teaching Amy to ride, laughing with Lou, fixing a fence, sharing coffee on the porch. Moments that once felt small, now feel eternal. Heartland has always been about life, loss, and love. And this episode captures all three in their purest form. The final shot lingers on the Heartland sign, standing strong against the wind. Below it, the fields stretch endlessly, glowing under the last light of day. The narrator whispers one final line: Heartland isn't just a place. It's a promise that even when the people we love ride ahead, their spirit stays behind, guiding us home. The screen fades to black. A single phrase appears in silence. In loving memory of Jack Bartlett, the heart of Heartland. Soft music fades out,